Hi everyone. Moving on to number 28 in the Queen 50 series. And, well, today it is Crazy Little Thing Called Love. Sounds like a line that Freddie would have come up with. Written by Freddie Mercury in 1979 as a tribute to his musical heroes Elvis Presley and Cliff Richard. The song peaked at number 2 in the UK singles chart in 1979, becoming the group's first number 1 single on the Billboard Hot 100 in the US in 1980, remaining there for 4 consecutive weeks. It topped the Australian IRIA charts, which you can read as ARIA charts, for 7 weeks. And having composed Crazy Little Thing Called Love on guitar, Mercury played rhythm guitar while performing the song live, which was the first time he played guitar in concert with Queen. I was just thinking, wait, he played rhythm guitar? Did he really play guitar? I mean, was he good at it? Let's see. Freddie says, Crazy Little Thing Called Love took me 5 or 10 minutes. I did that on the guitar, which I can't play for nuts. Okay, I was thinking, I've never seen him, never thought of him as playing guitar. And in one way, it was quite a good thing because I was restricted, knowing only a few chords. It's a good discipline because I simply had to write within a small framework. Yes, that's true. It's a great exercise. If you're a musician, a composer, limit yourself to a few small elements and see what you can come up with. I couldn't work through too many chords, and because of that restriction, I wrote a good song, I think. Well, I haven't judged it yet, but I won't be surprised if it's good. Roger Taylor added in an interview that Mercury wrote it in just 10 minutes while lounging in a bath in the Bayerischer Hof Hotel in Munich during one of their extensive Munich recording sessions, which was later confirmed by Mercury himself. Guitar in the bathtub? I guess it's easier to keep it dry than harp, but I'd be nervous about it. Mercury took it to the studio shortly after writing it and presented it to Taylor and John Deacon. The three of them, with their then-new producer Reinhold Mack, recorded it at Musicland Studios in Munich. The entire song was reportedly recorded in less than half an hour. 10 minutes composition, 30 minutes recording, done. I feel like saying, another one bites the dust? There's an unconfirmed legend commented on by Roger Taylor on the radio show In the Studio, and by Brian May on his website, that declares John Lennon was inspired by this song to go back to the music business. Whether it's true or false is still unknown, but it is a fact that Lennon listened to Queen and he did try new influences on his Double Fantasy album. Interesting. I guess that must have been after the Beatles era. So, I'm not near there yet. Still working my way through Beatles. But that's an interesting possibility. Okay, well, before I listen, I just want to remind you can check out my Ko-fi and Patreon pages if you want to see what's going on there, which is pretty lively at the moment. We have some live meetings where we get together and listen to music together, which I love, and I think everybody who's involved is really enjoying it, as well as plenty of exclusive content, which I can't put here on YouTube because of whatever reasons, copyright mostly. So check it out if you want, and let's see what this crazy little thing called love is all about. Nice walking bass there. Nice conversation back and forth, isn't it?
Get hit, get on my tracks, take a backseat,
I love those little
take a long ride on my motorbike.
chorus
Raise
interjections.
a little thing called this thing called love. I just can't handle it. This thing called love. I'm get right to it. I'm ready. Raise a little thing called love. 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 Raise a little thing called love.
Ready, Freddy?
I like that one. There's something so smooth about his voice in this one. In fact, I had to check the lyrics a few times because his voice was so blended in with the instrumental mix. I couldn't really make it out just by listening. This reminds me of some other piece of music, but I'm not exactly sure which piece of music it is. Well, clearly it's a very classic style. It's got the walking bass, bum 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 da da dee 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 dee, kind of jazzy in a way, isn't it? And the back and forth commentary, either from the voice and the chorus or the voice and the guitar. Great dynamic between them, and it really moves, doesn't it? Da 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 da. There's a lot of swing feel to it. It's great. I guess I didn't stop once. It just carried me along. So let's go back through, and I'll try to stop along the way. Simple chords, right? Da 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 dum, da 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 dum, da da da. Let's see, how many different notes does he have in here? Let's check this out. Pretty much the only thing that's moving is this upper note here, the F sharp to the G, and it's almost etude-like, isn't it? Almost like a beginner practicing move the pinky or move whatever note that's supposed to be. I don't know. Is it supposed to be I don't play guitar. I don't know which finger would be moving, but move that finger. Hold the notes. Learn to move that one finger. Da 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 dum, dee 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 da 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 dum, dee 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 da 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 dum, dee dee dee. And isn't it great that something so simple could be turned into such a classic sounding piece? And I really hear, once Freddie gets into it in the walking bass, I can really hear the Elvis Presley almost tribute in this music. I have heard a couple Elvis Presley songs in my life. I have no clue which ones, but I know that I've heard, I guess I watched a movie about Presley once or something. So I have a bit of a memory of his sound and style. So I can pick it up in here that, yeah, that's the Presley influence or tribute to Presley even. But I kind of like this too, this guitar, because I'm thinking, you know, in every genre of music, we have the masters, we have the greats, we have the great performers, we have the great composers, we have the pieces that are considered great, and everybody dreams of playing or singing or participating in those really iconic pieces of music. And in every genre, there are always a few little selections from those greats which are actually accessible to a fairly elementary performer. From the classical genre, take something like the Bach's 48 Preludes and Fugues, the Well-Tempered Clavier. Most of those are pieces you can spend a lifetime studying, but you certainly have to be fairly advanced before you even start. But what about the first prelude in the first book? Prelude in C. Now, you might not play it like a master, but at least you can play it, and it's accessible enough that you can actually enjoy the playing of it. This sounds kind of like that. Oh yes, Vlad is reminding me, I even taught him to play it, and he enjoyed playing it. He's not a pianist by any stretch of the word, but I taught him a piece of Bach because, of course, he loves Bach. He loves good music of all kinds, and it was a really, really rewarding experience. So here, with this crazy little thing called love, the fact that Freddie had to do something simple, that Freddie was basically a novice on the guitar, means that probably most guitar beginners could learn to strum this and play along with it pretty decently. I don't know. I've never tried to strum a guitar. I don't think I really have. I guess one of my siblings brought home a acoustic guitar once, and they tried to learn to play it, and I put it in my hands and felt it, and I've picked up this guitar back here and felt it, but it's foreign to me. It would require some real practice for me to be able to produce something on it, but probably I could learn to do this fairly quickly, because I see that it's just a couple positions, and you can change those positions, and the strumming is very simple. So what a great thing to have a piece that is so classic sounding and so engaging and so beautiful, carries you along. It carried me along to the end. I didn't even pause anywhere along the way because I was immersed in it. To be able to participate in a piece of music like that as a beginner is such a beautiful thing. And when the verse begins, I'm torn. I'm pulled two directions. Why? Because this voice, this velvety voice, wants to carry me along. But this bass says, I'm taking you for a walk. Bum, 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 bum. And I can't decide who to go with, really. Called love. Now, there's something else in this music that kind of comes to my mind. Partly, I can blame it on the opening lines. This thing called love, I just can't handle it. This thing called love, I must get round to it. When I first read it, I thought it said I must get around it. I just can't handle it. I must get around it. There's this old spiritual, my God is so high, I can't get over him, he's so low, I can't get under him, he's so wide, I can't get around him, and somehow that came to mind. It's the same style of writing. This thing called love, I just can't handle it. This thing called love, I must get round to it. Only I thought it said around it at first, and that's why it brought me to that moment. But it's it's nice the way it pulls you in. But then, well, with that little reference to a spiritual, you can kind of see how it kind of helps link the lines, and you can hear how the voice with the little multi-voice interjections, it's kind of like a gospel or even a barbershop quartet style, where you have a lead singer and then you have a bit of a group backing, conversing, collaborating with it. And so this little bit of I guess I would say a touch of barbershop style in there as well.
Listen, call up, big cry, like a baby, pray all night, swing to big jive, shakes all over like a jelly fish, I like it, raise a little thing called love,
Raise a little thing called
there goes my baby, she knows how to rock and roll, she drives me crazy, she gives me hot and cold fever, she leaves me in a cool sweat.
Leaves me in a cool sweat. That almost reminds me of the double entendres that I find in the Beatles music a lot. Because when he sings in it, you have to sing kind of fast there. Cool sweat. Cuckoo sweat. It's kind of funny, you know? And I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it works and adds a different bit of humor to it. And maybe this is a good moment to stop and talk about the lyrics a little bit more, because actually, while listening to this, even though the words are kind of blended a bit and smoothed over, you kind of have to pay attention to see what is being sung here in the music. When you read the lyrics on their own, you recognize that this music is almost in a way simply an extension of the lyrics themselves. Meaning, language has a lyricism, a musicality, and every language has its own musical cadence and melody and line. And when you can take the language and manipulate it and put it together in ways that exploit that, it's really fabulous. I mean, listen to this. Shakes all over like a jellyfish. I kinda like it. Crazy little thing called love. There goes my baby. She knows how to rock and roll. She drives me crazy. She gives me a hot and cold fever. She leaves me in a cool sweat. Get hip and get on my tracks. Take a back seat, hitchhike, and take a long ride on my motorbike until I'm ready. Crazy little thing called love, yeah. I mean, even though I'm not using any tune, you can hear the rhythm just naturally flowing out of this, and the smoothness, and the rise and fall, the ebb and flow, the humor and the beauty of it all at once. And all of that just flows. It's like it's oozing out of the lyrics themselves. And basically, all Freddie has done is take it and put it on a pedestal a little, lift it up so that we can see it and hear it, and that is the music that we have here.
She knows how to rock and roll. She drives me crazy. She gives me hot and cold fever.
Hot and cold fever.
Cool sweat.
Gives me the cool sweat. Great little moments of silence just to catch our attention and give a little bit of punctuation. Cool sweat. T, t. He didn't really enunciate the t very well himself, but the instruments did it for him.
Cool sweat.
Gotta be cool. Listen to how the music is cool. Relax. solo that draws its inspiration from the melody, but also just takes it a little bit more, pushes it even a little bit more dramatically, just so we can enjoy that a little bit more. You could play this on the piano quite well. You can imagine fingers jumping around, and it would fit really well, but it sounds beautiful on the guitar, doesn't it? Drums coming in here. And now the hand claps. Gotta be cool. Relax. Nice vocal chorus there. Ready? Raise a little thing called love. And it says, I just can't handle it. I mean, it sounds like, oh, I just can't handle it. It's too much for me.
Crazy little thing called love. 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 Crazy little thing called love.
Yeah. Actually, this that, of course, crazy little thing called love, and from the Beatles, she loves me, she loves you, she loves you, yeah, she loves you, yeah. I mean, it's all there, and I suppose it was just a thing back then to say yeah, every song or other in the rock style, and so I hear that in here as well. It seems kind of like a bit of a tribute to that era, even though Queen was a little bit later in the stream of things. But it's nice, it really is nice. And well, the other thing is that just like the previous one I listened to, which was
Another One Bites
the Dust. I talked in that one about how simple the music is. And here also, of course, this is the one where Freddie had to play the guitar. And really the whole thing is very simple. It's a great walking bass line, isn't it? D, 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 D. But it just goes on, same style. I mean, once you get it, you can get it. Whether you're walking on a bass like this or an upright acoustic bass, it could work on either one, and or it could be trombone down there or something. It has that style, and once you get the hang of the style, you can just walk around and have a grand time walking. And then of course the guitar that Brian May is playing, it's little interjections, nothing really deeply complex or really demanding, at least to my ears. And yet the music is so perfect. It's another prime example of how sometimes, in fact, I seem to be on this topic lately, because we had Another One Bites the Dust, we have this crazy little thing called love, we had just recently with the Beatles, Yesterday, and all three of those, maybe there have been a couple others that I've done recently that were kind of the same idea, all three of those incredibly simple, and in fact, to make them more complex or to add more to it would weigh it down, would make it cumbersome. It would lose the charm. It would lose that particular quality that makes it so beautiful, so engaging, so accessible. And yet I can't call any one of those three. Well, Another One Bites the Dust would be the closest in that direction of being so simple as to be, I think in Another One Bites the Dust, I use the term elementary. I don't mean that in a bad way, but Crazy Little Thing Called Love, it really sounds quite sophisticated, doesn't it? Part of it is the styling of it. And same with the Beatles, Yesterday. There's something so polished and sophisticated about it. I mean, every little detail fits perfectly. Even with Another One Bites the Dust. I mean, you can't change it or it will mess it up. It has to be that way because it belongs that way. And as composers, as creators, as artists, this is a really important thing for us to remember. When you have a brilliant idea, when you have something that works, well, as the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And don't add more than you need to let it shine. If you have a diamond, let it be a diamond and let it hold center stage. So this is yet another one of those diamonds, perhaps. Crazy Little Thing Called Love. Crazy little song. Beautiful, fun, and I enjoyed it. I'll see you soon.